Imagine your life with the same basic schedule every day. Yes, every day. Think about it. You won't meet a group of people who you fit in with, you won't change, and you'll miss out on some of the amazing experiences that life has to offer. But what am I talking about by saying a group of people who you fit in with and amazing opportunities? Well, think about this. When people look for a community, they often look at their current situations, their friends, their families, their passions, their interests, and their locations. And the last place usually looked in is their history. Who is my family? Where are they from, and who was their community? Now, in the less dim, less focused on spotlight is your purpose. What am I supposed to do, and what did my family do? Each of these are very important to finding people who are going to be there to support you through your whole life. Hi, my name is Makaela Cooper, and I'm here to talk with you today about how the pursuit of purpose can push you to find or create a community. Your history may not define you as a whole person and create your personality, but it gives you backbone into understanding who is behind me, who came before me, and what is so important that I need to carry it on. And I'm going to give you a question to think about. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, we've all felt it. Whether it's a job, a chore, or even just something in a community, what are you supposed to do? It's really difficult to find your purpose at first look. What are you going to do in your community? How can you be involved? But when you look for it, it takes you on this journey through life to figure out how important it is. As a young Jewish teen, growing up, opportunities became slimmer and slimmer the more I grew. Nothing was there to support the teens. It was, you're a baby, you're a toddler, and you leave, and you come back when you're an adult, if you even come back. But I wanted to change that. I wanted to make it that there are teens who are growing and who are finding out who they are, but who are also raising these toddlers and these kids, teaching them it's okay to be a Jewish teen. It's okay to build a community. I wanted to be part of that. It was really important finding all this out, but not only was it, what am I supposed to do? It's, where am I? When I was a kid, my parents always made sure I was surrounded by a community who was loving and who was caring and who was there to see the growth of a person. And they also taught me ahava, to love every inch of myself and to love everyone and everything around me. And this was so important to figuring out who I was. It started all in the very beginning when I was a toddler. In Maryland, I started at Beth Tefillah, and then we moved to the Caribbean, where my mom and a Chabad family started a program called Yeladim Magagalim, where we were welcomed, and before, we learned. We then moved to Maui and started in the local synagogue Sunday school. But there were a lot of little kids, so we didn't get as much attention to learn. So eventually, we moved to this program called Olive Champs. Now, the creator of this program was fairly new to it. She had just released this program, and she lived on Maui. So me and my sibling got to work with her and learn right from her about how to read Hebrew. After a short year in studies, I became fluent in reading Hebrew. So she made me a morah, a teacher. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. Half of those kids, they're older than me. They're not going to respect me. And my tiny little brain learned in one way. And they're developing. Their brains are bigger. They're not going to understand what I did. But I was resilient, and I stuck through it. I kept going, and after a couple months, I realized I stayed because it was so important to see those kids grow up and to stay in the community. Because all I had seen was just my friends getting to be 13 and having their bar and bat mitzvahs and then leaving the community. I wouldn't see them. So I wanted to change that, and I wanted to make it bigger. Now, yeah, it was a lot of work, and I stuck with it. Finally, it was time for me to go to my first sleepaway camp, Jewish Green Family Camp, in the middle of Texas. First year I was supposed to go, it was 2020, so obviously it was canceled. But instead of getting to meet with them in person, I actually got to meet with them online. And let me tell you, it was such an awe-inspiring moment to just see how these teens, they were so interested, and they were so passionate about themselves, and they were passionate about the community, and they couldn't wait to be at camp. although it didn't happen. I returned back to school and to Olive Champs. I kept teaching. It was a cycle. It was looped. And I started to get reluctant the more I went. I was teaching 5-year-olds now, and there was no point in me teaching if I couldn't promise that they were going to continue and be in the community. What was the point of it? So I left. My 8th grade year, I focused on my studies, and let me tell you, last summer, I realized I missed teaching more than I thought I would. Surprise. So I got a job, and I am now the Olive Champs Hebrew teacher at my local synagogue. And a 14-year-old, a freshman, teaching my peers. I'm no longer teaching 5-year-olds. I'm teaching kids who are 7 to 13, and I am showing them what it looks like to be a Jewish teen in the community and that it's okay to build it all together. I want to be the one to lead them. Now, each story I just told you about was crucial to finding a community, and in my case, building a community of teens. And maybe it was the kids I learned with, but maybe it was the kids I had worked with. Every single person I met, build that community to surround each and every person to care about. Being involved in your community can be something so simple as just attending an event or believing in yourself and believing in your own beliefs. But it's important to find that because it's your choice. You could be with your community for one event, but you could be with them through your whole life, and that's your choice. They're just there to support and to care and to live for you. They're there to be with you. Each of these keys are important to finding out who you are. I did some research. 2 of my aunts are Hebrew teachers, and some of my family in the past, they didn't have such good luck finding positive communities. So I'm reaching out for them, but I'm also reaching out for myself. And I want to reach out for you because I want you guys to find a community and something that you're so passionate about that it just grabs at you and you just want to keep learning and expressing. So I'm here today, and I'm reaching out for me. And I'm reaching out for you and to you because I want you to find it. So I'm going to leave you with a couple questions. Who's your community? What's your purpose? And what impact will you leave on them? Thank you.